I think everyone will agree that Totally Accurate Battle Simulator is a game about intelligence, tactics and strategy. But is it possible to beat it by using the strategy and philosophy of a Chinese war general Sun Tzu, famously known for the art of war? The main principle that Sun Tzu emphasizes throughout the book are: to subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill. Know the enemy and know yourself, and you need not fear the result of 100 battles. All warfare is based on deception. These are the basic principles of his approach that I'll try to maintain for every level, but we have quite a lot of tactics that I'll mention when we're actually gonna use them. On the first level we got 6 clubbers, which should not be difficult for Chinese war tactics. Sun Tzu does not like direct confrontation and battle unless your forces are clearly superior. He also states victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win, which basically means we can win this battle before it even begins if we find an advantage. I think in this case our advantage can be spear throwers, which is also great because we will be able to subdue our enemy before they can even get to us. So put down 5 spear throwers and expect an easy win, but these dumbasses decide to throw their first spears at the same clubber, so they managed to kill only 3 of them, and the rest just mauls my spear throwers to death. This tactic sounds good on paper, but so far it's 4 out of 10. I believe there is a potential, but it expects that your forces are actually smart enough to hit someone with a spear. If your enemy is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. If his forces are united, separate them. For this tactic I decided to separate my spear throwers into different sides of the map. In an ideal world, clubbers would separate equally, 3 going top and 3 going bottom, but as we can see everything goes wrong in the first second of the battle. Whenever getting killed for a second I thought that this tactic could work since we have 2 more spear throwers that could snap clubbers, but I guess it's too much to ask for. 6 out of 10, we're definitely getting closer to winning this fight. The issue with this tactic is that it requires units to not be brain dead. Camp in high places facing the sun, do not climb heights in order to fight. So much for mountain warfare. I tried to put all my spear throwers on high ground and shields at the bottom, but instantly spear throwers decided to jump off a cliff and kill themselves, and one also got stuck in a bush. He did move, so I don't know if he's actually fine. 0 out of 10 because my units don't want to leave. In all fighting, the direct method may be used for joining battle, but indirect methods will be needed in order to secure victory. For this tactic I put down some melee units to engage with an enemy, and spear throwers behind. I didn't have high hopes for this front line, I knew that they were gonna die anyway, but despite being shit at fighting, they managed to do their job of distracting the enemy forces, and spear throwers killed everyone. And just like the tactic promised, easily 8 out of 10. I feel like Sun Tzu wrote this one specifically for cases when your army is just full of idiots, but it works nonetheless, so he was onto something. Here we have 10 spear throwers split into 2 groups. Looks like they're using the Sun Tzu strategy on us as well, and they're forcing a fight on their terms. But Sun Tzu have thought about everything. Therefore the clever combatant imposes his will on the enemy, but does not allow the enemy will to be imposed on him. Their strength is that each group can take out a group of 5 enemies if they don't miss their spears. Instead of splitting our army into 2 groups as well, and leaving it up to a chance, we're gonna force them to fight how we want. So I spam clubbers into 1 group and rush the spear throwers. We lose a couple of people at first, but we managed to stomp the first group, and quickly these 3 absolute units get to the second group, and at this point we just overwhelm them and secure a victory. We got exactly what Sun Tzu promised on the first try. Straightforward and reliable tactic that just works. A solid 9 out of 10 actually. Now they're getting serious. We got a bunch of clubbers in the middle, but the real danger is stoners and boners. We shouldn't fight them head on, and overall it looks like a pretty solid formation. I'm thinking of using a tactic from before that made us lose, but I think in this case it has a lot of potential. If your enemy is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. If his forces are united, separate them. Since we can't fight them directly, we should evade them and separate them. I put a group of clubbers at the top and the bottom of the map, and the main force of clubbers and spears will come slightly later when an enemy is already distracted. My clubbers successfully engaged stoners, boners, and distract them. The plan worked even better because the main group got separated as well. Somehow we're using evasion and separation tactic inside of the evasion and separation tactic. Meanwhile the other group was killing stoner and boner. This one managed to take out some clubbers and distract the last boner on the map in order for the rest of the units to come safely. And just like that the enemy team didn't have any chances. We lost some people here and there, but it is what it is. Overall turns out this tactic is actually very good, though I doubt it will work every time, so because of that I increased my rating of it to a weak 6 out of 10. We got a whole army here. Shields in the front and clubbers behind. Looks like a strong formation and they clearly expect us to fight in a direct confrontation. But I think it's a good opportunity to see if the tactic of the evade and separate would work universally and if it deserves to be more than a 6 out of 10. So I put clubbers at the top and bottom to separate this formation and spears, clubbers and boners at the back as the main force. As planned, we instantly separate this formation, but what happens next is even better. I suppose my bottom clubbers were on steroids or something because they just refused to die, even despite the fact that there were like 20 people jumping on them. This made the blue guys to conveniently crowd around one point, and that was their biggest mistake. So our boner did exactly what he needed to do, and after that the battle was ours. Honestly, I'm starting to like this tactic more and more, so I'll rate it 7 out of 10. It's definitely strong and straightforward to execute. Now we're fighting more advanced enemies. They're not smarter, but these 5'11 guys can overwhelm our forces very quick. There are also some farmers or whatever, but they're not a problem. Looking at the map, we have a narrow bridge, and Sun Tzu says this: in narrow passes, if you can occupy them first, let them be strongly garrisoned and evade the enemy. To take advantage of this bridge, I wanted to put a mammoth in there, but unfortunately we're broke. I doubt Sun Tzu had mammoths in his army anyway, so I tried to put some shields on the bridge and surround the bridge with spears. My thinking behind it was that the shields will just tank everything and spears will shoot everyone, but unfortunately what happened is what happened. I tried a couple more variations of this tactic, but we just kept losing. I didn't really like the strategy. It sounds like it should work, but it just doesn't. At least in this battle, like a 2 out of 10. But then I noticed a couple of houses and I tried something else. Camp in high places facing the sun. Do not climb heights in order to fight. So much for mountain warfare. This one is pretty self-explanatory. We have to take advantage of the high ground. It might be a bit confusing because he says do not climb in order to fight, but it makes sense because he sees fighting and winning as two different things. So I put some spears on top of the houses and some guys at the bottom. Not surprisingly they all die, but it doesn't matter because spear throwers just keep killing everyone. At this point the battle was won because our spears have a clear advantage, and farmers can't do anything against this illegal strategy. I'll be honest, it's a good tactic, but it's also very situational and heavily depends on terrain. 5 out of 10. Next level. Honestly, we could use the same tactic, but Sun Tzu says, do not repeat the tactics which have gained you one victory, but let your methods be regulated by the infinite variety of circumstances. So we have to use some other approach. This fight is gonna be dangerous because they have potion sellers. Haydudes don't matter as much, they're just a distraction. Speed is the essence of war. Take advantage of the enemy's unpreparedness, travel by unexpected routes, and strike him where he has taken no precautions. I think here a good tactic would be to just rush and kill all of them quickly so potion sellers don't have much time to poison us. I spam all the chieftains I can put. For a second everything looks good, we even killed all of the Haydudes. But just as we started to get close to potion sellers, the poison kicked in and chieftains started to run away. One even killed himself. Not good. 1 out of 10 strategy. Maybe it doesn't fit in this battle, but it still feels very niche. Simulated disorder postulates perfect discipline. Simulated fear postulates courage. Simulated weakness postulates strength. As far as I understand, what he's saying is that there is strength in the controlled chaos. So instead of trying to create a formation that makes sense, I randomly spam clubbers around the map, creating chaos, and I put a bunch of spear throwers on different sides of the map, creating control. Clubbers engage the Haydudes and distract all the potion sellers. Spear throwers absolutely destroy Haydudes, and the last two clubbers who somehow survived all of this heroically catch all of the potions with the faces, so spears could secure a victory. It's a very interesting and dramatic tactic, I like it. 7 out of 10. This one is very simple, we just have a couple of Haydudes and farmers. I tried to think of what tactic to use, but Sun Tzu said, the onset of troops is like the rush of a torrent, which will even roll stones along on its course. Basically it made me realize what's the point of using some complex tactic when Sun Tzu himself suggests me that I can just put the fucking mammoth on the battlefield. So he one-shotted everyone and we won in like 5 seconds. 10 out of 10, need I say more. On this level they're using deception tactic, which Sun Tzu would honestly appreciate. You think that it's only size and potion sellers, but if you look closer they're hiding minions in this suite. Overall actually a very dangerous enemy. Whoever is first in the field and awaits the coming of the enemy will be fresh for the fight. Instead of rushing to fight them, I decided to put all my units as far as possible to make the enemy come to us. We got spears with chieftains at the top and the bottom, and shields at the far back. By doing this, we also separated our enemy forces, which you already know Sun Tzu would respect. Since they have to come to us, the chieftains act as a distraction meanwhile spears are chilling and doing their thing. Even if they kill chieftains, it's not gonna be a problem because thanks to this wall, enemies would have to go a long way and still be attacked by spears. On the other side of the map, we also managed to overwhelm our enemy, so all that's left to do is to kill potion sellers. Undoubtedly a tactic that works, but it's also very passive and requires some patience, especially compared to launching a mammoth at a group of enemies. Probably 5 out of 10. Finally, we don't have to play with Neanderthal units anymore, and our strategic possibilities open up even more. Against us are just a bunch of knights, nothing crazy. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. So for this one, according to Sun Tzu, I decided to force my enemies to kill themselves. So I put 4 potion sellers. It started off very good. Potion sellers overwhelmed knights with their poison, and lots of them jumped off the cliff. But unfortunately, there were too many of them anyway, and we couldn't do anything. It's not a bad tactic by any means, so I decided to add some deception into the mix. We got lots of minions hiding on the edge of the cliff, but the main point is still 2 potion sellers. They just snipe all of the knights from the other side of the map and poison them on their first throw. Our potion sellers probably go to the gym because what the fuck is the strength? A lot of knights fall down, some die, but some have to face these minions, which is honestly a worse outcome for them. At the top everything goes smooth as well. Minions manage to distract knights, meanwhile potion sellers are just going at it. Unfortunately, knights killed all my minions down here, but we still managed to push a lot of them off the cliff. The final battle was crazy. 2 potion sellers versus 3 knights. 1 potion seller sacrifices himself and the other one kills the rest. He got the man's aura cause he made a knight die right in front of him. 10 out of 10 tactic. It's fun, straightforward, and probably can be used anytime no matter who's up against you. I still have no idea what these bards do, but they definitely do something. The real problem is archers though, they just snipe you from the other planet. Speed is the essence of war. Take advantage of the enemy's unpreparedness, travel by unexpected routes, and strike him where he has taken no precautions. To not give archers any chance, I decided to rush them as fast as possible. We got a wheelbarrow as the main unit to distract archers and break up their formation, and Haydudes to finish the job. Wheelbarrow instantly flies into these archers and creates chaos, and by the time they destroy it, my Haydudes are already up on their faces. Though the idiots decided to focus on killing bards instead, and one of my Haydudes was special because he just couldn't hit this archer for a minute, but despite all of that we managed to win. I have no idea how, but I guess Sun Tzu knows better. 8 out of 10. We got a couple of knights in the catapult. Honestly, this one is easy. The weakness of this formation is that the catapult takes a while to reload and knights are not a real problem. So thanks to Sun Tzu we already know what to do. Simulated disorder postulates perfect discipline. Simulated fear postulates courage. Simulated weakness postulates strength. I spam potion sellers all over the map and put a harvester at the back. The battle goes just as you expect it to. Catapult focuses on 1 potion seller, meanwhile we got like 7 of them. So the other ones poison all the knights and slowly break apart this catapult. I feel bad for the harvester though. He didn't even do anything, and as soon as he got close to the catapult he just ate this massive boulder with his face. Rest in peace. But the rest of the potion sellers carried this battle. A solid 7 out of 10. This is a strong formation. Knights don't matter as much, but the king with 4 healers is problematic. The clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy. It does not require too much from individuals. In this case I think we have to create synergy of our forces that amplify each other. Wheelbarrow to break up this formation, halflings to create chaos, potion sellers to create some control, and harvesters with farmers as a fighting force. Wheelbarrow instantly crashes into the king, breaking the entire formation. Potion sellers start poisoning knights and minions overwhelm the strugglers. Wheelbarrow is just doing too much and not letting the king get up. Minions jump on the king and the wheelbarrow is literally drifting on top of the healers. The king is very strong and kills most of my farmers, but without healers, my potion sellers and the harvester managed to kill them and win this battle. I would say 6 out of 10. It's a solid tactic that works for sure, but I feel like its success highly depends on available units and their intelligence. Now we can use even better units, but honestly I feel like at this point I'm fluent in Sun Tzu, so I can instantly tell the tactic that he would use in this case. In narrow passes, if you can occupy them first, let them be strongly garrisoned and evade the enemy. We don't even have to overthink it. I just put 2 catapults there and watch how they one-shot these groups. In this situation the strategy is 10 out of 10, but you will not find narrow paths like that everywhere, so I would say like a 6 out of 10. Doesn't really matter who's against us. I didn't want to use the same narrow path tactic because Sun Tzu says do not repeat the tactics which have gained you 1 victory, but at the same time he also says let your methods be regulated by the infinite variety of circumstances. And I think we can all agree that in these circumstances taking advantage of a narrow street is just like the most obvious and the best strategy, so let's not complicate it. We got shields and ballistas. It might look dangerous at first, but since deception is one of the core pillars of Sun Tzu approach, it's a piece of cake. All warfare is based on deception, hence when we are able to attack we must seem unable, and when using our forces we must seem inactive. So I put a couple of bards in the front lines to distract the ballistas, and my main forces at the back. By doing this ballistas waste their shots, and even better they kill one of their own, which is of course a part of our calculated approach. I like that the bards are not doing shit and just running around so ballistas can't hit anyone, and they also distract shields so my archers are completely safe and kill everyone. Needless to say, it's truly 10 out of 10 tactic. Everybody probably hated Sun Tzu because of this one. This looks like a problem. 2 Minotaurs. Spears are not so important, but Minotaurs are very dangerous. They like kinda just don't let you go. If he's secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he's in superior strength, evade him. Minotaur is clearly of superior strength, so we can't really fight him directly. What we can do though is to tactically evade him with a couple of bards and knights, meanwhile archers are gonna be doing damage. Minotaurs instantly jump at the closest group of knights and kill them, but we're not wasting our time when our archers kill most of the spearmen and absolutely destroy one Minotaur. The second Minotaur could have been a problem, but the spirit of Sun Tzu himself protects us, so he charges only at one archer and we secure victory. Honestly 5 out of 10. I like it, but I feel like it's kind of risky. If a Minotaur would charge in a group of archers, we would probably be done. On the next level we got ice archers and some Vikings. Of course the real danger is ice archers because they can freeze you. Speed is the essence of war. Take advantage of the enemy's unpreparedness, travel by unexpected routes and strike him where he has taken no precautions. Now that we have a Minotaur ourselves, I think it would be the best option. Our Minotaurs quickly charge into the ice archers and it looks like it's all good, but after the first arrow everything goes downhill from there, since they become slower and slower, and our speed advantage disappears just like our victory as well. 4 out of 10. The tactic itself is probably good, but in this case it just didn't work and I feel like it's kind of specific for a small amount of situations. In all fighting, the direct method might be used for joining battle, but indirect methods will be needed in order to secure victory. You can still use a Minotaur to engage our enemy, but I think our real way of winning this battle will be snake archers. The Minotaur charges at the group and completely misses it. It's kind of embarrassing, but whatever, the main point is that he distracted them. Now our snake archers can come up and start shooting at them. It works perfect because now not only Minotaur is distracting them, but also this annoying as snakes are everywhere. One of our archers got frozen, but he didn't even flinch and continued shooting. What a hero. And after a while they couldn't even do anything against all the snakes and we won. They didn't even kill a Minotaur. That's how good the strategy is. 8 out of 10. This is a strong formation. We got Vikings with shields and this big scary dudes with an axe that will probably kill us in direct combat. Whoever is first in the field and awaits the coming of the enemy will be fresh for the fight. So what we can do instead of fighting them is just put 4 ballistas there with some hoplites in front as a mid shield and wait for them to come. Instantly ballistas kill like half of their army. Now hoplites directly engage them in combat, meanwhile ballistas are reloading. They're definitely not the best warriors, but that's what we got. And meanwhile they do that, ballistas reload and kill another half of the army. Unfortunately they miss an axeman. That could have been tragic, but one of the ballistas clutches this battle. I think we can increase the rating of this strategy to about 6 out of 10. It's still very passive, but it simply works and I can't say anything bad about it. Now this looks scary. Viking at the front, 3 axemen and a nice archer in the back. Very strong formation and seems like there are no obvious weaknesses. An obvious tactic I tried first was, in all fighting the direct method may be used for joining battle, but indirect methods will be needed in order to secure victory. I thought the best option here would be to distract them with shields and attack them from a distance with snake archers and Zeus. I don't know if Sun Tzu has ever thought about using Zeus in his army, but he also doesn't say anything against that. At first everything goes pretty much as I planned, but 5 seconds later all of my shieldmen are dead lying on the ground. Archers and Zeus actually managed to kill a big part of their army. I even started to thinking that we're gonna win this. But these axemen are unkillable, so much so that Zeus can't even do anything against them. So we need a different approach. The clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy and does not require too much from individuals. I tried to create an army that synergizes well. We got hoplites as tanks, snake archers behind them to create some chaos, big ballistas for big damage and some more hoplites with archers. And instantly we start shooting everyone. Archers are being super annoying with their snakes that enemies can't even get close to hoplites. Ballistas shoot but don't hit shit, whatever. Finally hoplites get close but they instantly get locked in a nice ring and killed. Ballistas shoot again and take out an axeman. At this point snakes are all over the place and kill all of the archers, which is perfect. And ballistas penetrate the last 2 axemen and thanks to Sun Tzu we win this battle. 8 out of 10 definitely. It takes too much mental effort to come up with a good synergy for a battle, but when you do, I feel like you're controlling something unstoppable like diabetes. After the previous level, this one honestly looks like a kindergarten. They got some Vikings and Chads who are able to carry ships, but nothing really stands out as a real danger. I feel like at this point we don't even need to fight them to win this one. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. So what I did is I put 3 ballistas and spammed snake archers around. And just like Sun Tzu promised, we pretty much win this battle without fighting head on or doing anything crazy. Our forces are chilling while our enemies are literally fighting for their life. I gotta give it to them though, they had one struggler who managed to survive for a very long time. Which is respectable, but we got his ass anyway. 10 out of 10 tactic. Probably nothing feels as good as winning a battle while barely doing anything. But yeah, shout out Sun Tzu.